Many people over the age of 60 remain diligent about eating healthily, staying active, and exercising daily, confident that they are doing everything right to preserve their health. However, there are silent risks that often go unnoticed. Certain familiar exercises, even those widely considered safe, can increase the likelihood of a stroke. Movements as common as sit-ups, planks, or specific yoga postures, when performed incorrectly or in ways unsuitable for one's physical condition, may carry serious dangers. As we age, the body responds very differently from how it did in youth. Blood pressure can fluctuate more rapidly. Balance becomes less stable, and certain motions place excessive strain on the cardiovascular and nervous systems. Just one rapid forward bend, an abrupt twist of the torso, or holding your breath while straining can trigger sudden spikes or drops in blood pressure, leading to dizziness, fainting, or even the onset of a stroke. Over many years of working with older patients, I have witnessed more than a few incidents occurring immediately after exercise, often in individuals who believed they were training to get healthier. This is why today I want to examine in detail 9 types of exercises that may be quietly harming your brain and heart, particularly if you have high blood pressure or poor circulation. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Standing forward bend. Many people see this as a perfectly natural movement, rarely considering it harmful. Yet for those over 60, a single rapid bend forward can be enough to make you feel unsteady. Let's imagine this. You are standing and quickly bend down to tie your shoes or pick up something you've dropped. In that instant, blood rushes to your head while your heart and blood vessels have not yet adjusted. In younger individuals, the body's blood pressure regulation responds almost instantly. But with age, this reflex slows down. The result can be a sudden drop in blood pressure, a condition known as orthostatic hypotension, leading to dizziness, loss of balance, or even fainting. And if you happen to fall, especially striking your head, the risk of traumatic brain injury or stroke rises significantly. Multiple studies, including a report from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, have confirmed that older adults are more prone to blood pressure drops following abrupt changes in posture. I once treated a patient who collapsed in the kitchen simply because she bent too quickly to retrieve a pot from a lower cabinet, resulting in an injury to the temple. To reduce this risk, turn bending down into a slow, deliberate action. Keep your feet steady. Bend your knees slightly. Lower your body gradually, and whenever possible, brace yourself against a stable surface. This simple habit can save you from a serious accident. And now, let's move gently from the floor to something just a bit higher up. Your neck. 2. Rapid or forceful neck rotations. That nagging stiffness in the neck often leads people to instinctively turn their head quickly from side to side, or rotate it in a circle to loosen the muscles. It sounds harmless, but in older adults, this can be a surprisingly risky move. Within the neck run, 2 critical blood vessels is the vertebral arteries, which supply blood and oxygen to the areas of the brain responsible for balance and coordination. When the neck is twisted abruptly or with excessive force, especially if repeated frequently, the arterial walls can become compressed or sustain microscopic injury. Even a slight change can be enough to reduce blood flow to the brain, causing dizziness, blurred vision, or, in more severe cases, a stroke. A medical report in the New England Journal of Medicine documented a man in his 60s who suffered a stroke just minutes after performing a rapid neck rotation during warm-up. No impact, no fall, just an overly forceful stretch. I also recall an elderly patient at a senior exercise club who would rotate her neck widely and quickly every morning. Over time, she began experiencing dizzy spells and visual disturbances. Once she switched to slower, gentler movements, those symptoms disappeared entirely. If your neck feels stiff, the safest approach is to move your head slowly, avoiding any sudden jerks, and to combine this with gentle stretching or warm compresses. Ideally, have a physical therapist assess your condition before attempting any neck exercises, especially if you are over 60. And now, let's move on to point number 3. 3. Lift heavy weights. Muscle strength plays a vital role in keeping the body agile and independent as we age. But lifting weights incorrectly can turn those benefits into serious risks. The most dangerous mistakes are choosing a weight beyond your capacity or unconsciously holding your breath while straining. This action, known in medicine as the Valsalva maneuver, causes a sharp rise in pressure within the chest and skull, leading to a sudden spike in blood pressure. For individuals with hypertension or weakened blood vessels, this surge can tear a vessel wall, trigger a brain hemorrhage, or set off a stroke. Reports from the American Heart Association have documented a clear link between heavy weightlifting, increased intracranial pressure, and the risk of brain hemorrhage in older adults. I recall a man in his 60s, healthy, active, and a regular at the gym. One day, and he attempted to lift more than his usual load. Midway through the movement, he felt a sudden rush of pressure in his head, dizziness, and nearly collapsed. Tests later revealed that his blood pressure had skyrocketed to a dangerous level in mere seconds. To train safe, choose a weight that challenges your muscles, but still allows you to maintain control. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Never hold your breath. And ideally, work with a trainer experienced in working with older adults to ensure that your program supports rather than jeopardizes your vascular health. 4. Inverte yoga poses. Moves such as headstands or shoulder stands may look graceful and even artistic. But for those over 60, they carry risks that are often overlooked. When the body is inverted, blood rushes rapidly toward the head. Many believe this nourishes the brain, but in reality, it causes a sudden and significant increase in intracranial pressure in blood vessels already less elastic with age, or in individuals with high blood pressure. This surge is like forcing water through an old, weakened pipe. Just a bit of overload can trigger serious complications. Neurologists have documented cases of older adults experiencing dizziness to severe pain behind the eyes, and even signs of a minor stroke after attempting to hold such positions. I recall my patient, Joe, a 65-year-old retired physical education teacher who was convinced that headstands would make him feel younger. After only a few weeks, he began noticing a heavy sensation in the back of his neck and brief episodes of blurred vision. An examination revealed that each inversion was dangerously elevating his intracranial pressure and straining the brain's blood vessels. He abandoned the headstand and switched to a legs up the wall pose, which provided relaxation without the risk. So, the takeaway is that with age, not every move that looks impressive is safe. Choose postures that promote gentle circulation, and always consult your trainer about your health status before attempting advanced poses. Next, let's shift from what happens when your head is down to the effects of when your feet hit the ground. Evening exercise might seem soothing, but timing can make all the difference. 5. High-speed running or HIIT at night. A late-night gym session often feels calm and refreshing. This cool air and quiet atmosphere seem perfect for unwinding after a long day. But for those over 60, going all out at this hour can do more harm than you might realize. High-intensity exercise activates the sympathetic nervous system, essentially flipping the body's alert mode switch. This is fine during the day, but if done close to bedtime, your heart rate stays elevated, blood pressure rises, and the body remains in a state of vigilance. This is exactly the opposite of the relaxation needed for deep, restorative sleep. In older adults, this late-night strain can increase the risk of nocturnal hypertension, a condition strongly linked to strokes that occur during sleep. Blood pressure studies have shown that even in healthy individuals, intense evening workouts can significantly raise nighttime blood pressure. I once treated Harry, a 69-year-old man who made a habit of sprinting after dinner to burn fat faster. After several months, he began experiencing frequent insomnia, and once even woke in the middle of the night feeling dizzy and with his heart pounding. On his cardiologist's advice, he switched his workouts to the morning. The result is better sleep and a marked improvement in overall well-being. So, if you still enjoy evening exercise, opt for gentle activities such as leisurely walking, stretching, or light yoga. Save vigorous cardio for daytime, when your body is ready to handle the load without compromising your night's rest. Next up, let's focus on something small but powerful. 6. Crunches and sit-ups. Classic abdominal exercises that many people have practiced for decades may seem simple and effective. Yet for older adults, performing them too quickly or in excessive repetitions can carry hidden risks. When you perform rapid, continuous sit-ups, especially while holding your breath or breathing improperly, the pressure inside your chest and abdominal cavity surges. This sudden shift in pressure can disrupt blood flow, particularly to the brain. Imagine squeezing a section of a garden hose. The flow instantly narrows inside the body. This means your brain is receiving less oxygen during those critical few seconds. A study published in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that in older adults, fast, continuous sit-ups, particularly without rest between sets, significantly reduced cerebral blood flow. The result can be dizziness, disorientation, or even fainting. I recall a 65-year-old man in a rehabilitation class who shared that every morning, after several dozen sit-ups, he would feel lightheaded and unsteady on his feet. His doctor explained that the pressure from those rapid movements was interrupting blood flow to the brain. Since switching to slower exercises such as pelvic tilts or seated marches, and pairing them with proper breathing, exhaling during effort, inhaling during relaxation, he has experienced no further dizziness. So, if you want to protect both your muscles and your brain, I remember this move slowly. Breathe correctly, and never turn your abdominal workout into a race for speed. Now that we've grounded ourselves with the core, let's step onto the treadmill. 7. A high-speed treadmill use without handrails. The treadmill is often regarded as a safe workout option, regardless of the weather. But for older adults, one seemingly harmless habit that can pose a serious risk is running too fast without holding onto the handrails. With age, the body's reaction time and coordination are no longer as sharp as they once were. Moving at high speed on a moving belt without support means that just one misstep can turn a workout into a painful fall. The consequences may include fractures, head injuries. Even more dangerously is stroke for those with cardiovascular conditions. According to data from the NIH and other health agencies, older adults are the group most likely to experience treadmill-related accidents, with the leading cause being neglecting the handrails. Just a few seconds of lost balance can place sudden, intense strain on the heart, particularly in those over 60. I once met a man in his early 70s who ran hands-free every morning to train his balance. But a single light slip sent him headfirst onto the belt. His doctor later stated plainly, had he used the handrails, the accident could almost certainly have been avoided. So, keep your pace moderate. If you feel even slightly unsteady, grab the handrails immediately. Want to increase the challenge while staying safe? Try walking on an incline. Your heart still gets a workout, but the risk of falling is greatly reduced. And coming up next, we're switching gears. 8. Long duration plank with breath holding. Planks may seem harmless. No weights. No machines. Just the floor. And your willpower. But if you hold the position for too long and unconsciously hold your breath, you may be creating a pressure storm inside your body. In a plank position, the abdominal, back, and shoulder muscles must contract tightly to resist gravity. This sustained tension raises pressure in both the abdominal and chest cavities. If you fail to breathe steadily during this time, oxygen intake decreases while blood pressure climbs. What's the result? The heart must work overtime to pump blood, and the amount of blood reaching the brain temporarily drops. A report published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that even healthy older adults can experience a sharp rise in systolic blood pressure within just seconds of holding their breath during a plank. This not only overburdens the heart, but also increases the risk of dizziness, headaches, or even fainting. I recall a neighbor who prided herself on her endurance. She often held planks for over 2 minutes, pushing herself to last as long as possible. Eventually, she began experiencing chest twinges and a dull headache after each session. Once she switched to shorter sets of 20-30 seconds and focused on deep, steady breathing, all symptoms disappeared. So, the message here is clear. Planks are safe if you know when to stop. Keep them short. Breathe evenly, and don't let silent breath holding become a hidden danger to your heart. Now, we'll shift gears a bit and stand back up, because the next movement involves something you probably do every day without thinking twice. 9. Rapid sit to stand or squatting movements. Sit down, then stand up. It sounds simple. We do it dozens of times a day, but if you perform the movement too quickly, especially when repeating it in high-speed squats, your body can be caught off guard, and your blood pressure may drop suddenly. This phenomenon is called postural hypotension. In younger people, the circulatory system responds almost instantly to position changes, pumping blood to the brain in time. But with age, this adjustment slows. Just a few seconds of reduced blood flow to the brain can make you feel lightheaded, unsteady, or even cause you to lose your balance and fall. This has less to do with muscle strength and more to do with how well your cardiovascular system adapts to changes in posture. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that older adults who frequently stand up and sit down too quickly have a significantly higher rate of dizziness, as well as an increased risk of falls that can result in head injuries or fractures. I recall a friend who thought adding a few dozen fast squats to his morning routine would keep his legs agile. But after just a few weeks, he began experiencing brief spells of dizziness that left him feeling off balance all day. When he switched to a slower pace, pausing for a moment between sitting and standing, his symptoms disappeared completely. So, train wisely. When standing up or squatting, don't rush. Take a deep breath. Let your body adjust before moving on. And if needed, hold on to a chair or handrail. Maintaining your balance is not a sign of weakness. It's the key to protecting yourself from dangerous falls. So, we've just explored the hidden risks that can lurk within movements that seem perfectly harmless. This isn't about creating fear. It's about expanding awareness, appreciating the body's natural changes, and learning how to move safely and confidently. Physical activity will always be one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, but as we grow older, the goal is no longer to train harder or longer, but to train smarter and more sustainably. You don't have to compete with the younger generation, nor push yourself beyond every limit. What matters most is listening to your body and treating it with respect. I hope this video has encouraged you to take a fresh look at your daily habits or those of your loved ones from a new perspective. Sometimes, just a small change can help you stay steadier, safer, and healthier. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Keep taking care of yourself. Keep learning, adjusting, and putting your health first each day. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.